So this is one of the cucumbers that I have never seen. Spiky orange one. This one was $1 from the farm stall down the road, but Manta Ray, she sent me seeds for this. I just found that out and said, okay, I'll take a shot of this so people can see what the finished fruit is like. But I'm not going to shoot the video till spring because I'm going to make Manta Ray's $30 Bandit video into a do's and don'ts of hatching seedlings. And obviously when I'm going into winter now, which I am now, I'm going to wait till the other side of winter in early spring to plant all the seeds. But you know, I've never seen this cucumber before, and I bought this now just down the road, and she said, yes, the cucumber seeds I sent you are spiky and orange. I said, oh, I've got one from down the road. So now you can see what it looks like, and there'll be one of the seeds that I'll be planting in this video. So I've never seen this cucumber before. Thanks Manta Ray for donating. So there's the cabin that I'm living in down there. And since no one's up here, I thought I'd shoot the view up here because it's beautiful. Hey Bo. So, there's Mount Warning in the background. You probably can't see it, but Mount Warning's over that way. And the border ranges of Queensland and New South Wales. So anyway, this video is for Sam. She sent me a nice little card. She couldn't donate money at the time, and I said, stuff it, I'll shoot you a video anyway. So I won't read that out, that's for me. And yes, things are easing off for me post eschaton. I'm still reeling from the eschaton a little, and in 2013 I was really just reeling from the eschaton, you know. It had me in, you know, deep thought. I just wanted to figure it all out. Anyway, so yes, things are easing off for me. I'm living at this beautiful place, a lot less stress. And I'm sort of taking a break this year in 2014 to make all my videos, make a lot of videos anyway, and sort of just take a break from the eschaton and the mirrored continuities of the eschaton where I had to learn everything. Oh, let's hope the wind doesn't blow it away. But so I've got here cucumber, vanilla orange and Himalaya black. So thanks for those seeds, Sam, or Manta Ray is her nickname. She says this one's a mixed one. Check the photo. Small round black misty lilac. I don't know if that's right what I read. I don't know much about lilacs. Lettuce and cabbage, others mixed tomato and capsicum. Thank you. Blue tomatoes, interesting. Midnight sky blue tomatoes. So that's interesting. Blue tomatoes. Then tree tamarillo. I've showed you the tamarillo, if you don't know about it, in the 2013 Permaculture Paradise time-lapse special video that I did. So you can see what the tamarillo trees look like. Oh, Cape gooseberry. Now I found this I heard that it's the #1 antioxidant in the world that's non-mutagenic. Now David Wolfe will tell you, you know, that's cacao. And so I'm not 100% sure. He says it's more than all the blueberries and acacia or acai berry, but I haven't heard him mention the Cape gooseberry, and I did find somewhere else that it's the highest antioxidant value that's non-mutagenic, because dragon's blood from I think an African tree called the dragon blood tree is actually the highest antioxidant in the world, but it's mutagenic, so it'll turn you into a mutant. No, it means it's not good for your cells, and yeah, it'll make you a mutant. Sunflower. Okay, awesome. I've never grown sunflower before, and here's some purple carrots that I did get, but then I realised they're fake purple carrots. They're imposters. you see in the middle there it's actually still orange, so that's really weird. I don't know what they've done here, just mixed the varieties. But I can get access, usually at Nimbin, sometimes in the local town here, Murwillumbah, to full purple carrots. Now they're awesome because they stain, and that means, you know, it's a very powerful antioxidant, because antioxidants are pigments. Remember, that's why cacao's, you know, really dark purple, black, you know, stuff that you squeeze out of cacao beans is the highest antioxidant according to David Wolfe. And yeah, apparently antioxidants are pigments. So the purple carrots, they bleed like beetroots. You know how beetroots are really healthy and they leak like ink almost, and that's what the purple carrots did, but not these fake purple ones. So look for the real purple carrots that are wholly purple all the way through, and in my opinion they're really, really healthy because they do that staining thing and they're just full of juice. Now these ones don't look the same, and they are definitely, in my opinion, the proper purple ones better than any other carrots that I've come across. So it's definitely worth trying to cultivate them in your local area for yourself and for everyone, or at least try and find them for you to eat, because they're really good. So thanks, Sam, for that, and we're going to go through just a few do's and don'ts of seedlings, of seeding, and I'll try and cover as many as I can think of or find out about. So over the other side of the balcony here, you can see the garden patches coming along. There's a pumpkin vine starting up, lemon balm, and there's lots of parsley over there, some fennel, some dill in the distance, lots of lettuce in this top garden, and in the second one there, some nasturtium, the yellow flowers. Also got, what's it called, pineapple sage just there, in front of the kale, and some perpetual spinach. There's other stuff in there, so it's coming along. You know, I haven't had to pay for all this stuff, luckily enough. And some sage down there, some more lettuce. So yeah, it's coming along, the garden patch. We've got at least, you know, a basic salad starting up. There's some Mizuna there in the middle of the screen, right in the centre near the blue pot to the right. It's a, like, scruff of Mizuna. I didn't know it grew that large. It's pretty cool. It's pretty similar to lettuce in taste. It doesn't really have the lettuce taste, it's just got a, well, I don't know how to describe the taste, Mizuna taste. But yeah, it's pretty close to lettuce. So one thing you want to do with your seeds, in my opinion, is soak them. You know, you're meant to dry them, and you should dry them so that you can keep them well and they don't get all kinds of molds and stuff growing on them. But then after you put them away for a couple of months or years or whatever, you want to soak them for about 24 hours, maybe even 48 hours before you put them in the ground. Because allow the seed to think, you know, it's raining, you know, it's the start of spring rain, the rains have arrived, yippee-yi-ki-yay, and, you know, it'll begin to soak up the water, hopefully, and make the seed more viable. Now, you can go through and be pedantic and pick out viable seeds, you know, in the end it might help. But some people will avoid that, you know, it's a bit too finicky and pedantic. Such as myself, I'll just sort of scour seeds and do it like, you know, it would naturally occur. I'll sort of just throw them around. And that's the good thing about seeds, especially, say, for instance, pumpkin. I've thrown out some more pumpkin down there we can go have a look at in a second. But with pumpkin, you know, you get so many pumpkin seeds, you can eat them too, they're really good for you. But if you want to use them to grow more pumpkin plants, well, you can just scour them around, just throw them out, and, you know, you don't want to put seeds deeper than an inch. So do water your seeds, but don't place them too deep in the soil. So there's one for each side so far, do and don't. So I really like the pumpkin seeds because there's so many in a pumpkin, and then, you know, even if one
one of the seeds ends up being a viable plant, and so many of them do seem to be viable seeds, well then even if one makes it, you know, you've got maybe 50 pumpkins will grow off that one vine. So 50 pumpkins, and then you can do it all again. You'll have 50 times, I don't know, 100, 200 seeds in each pumpkin, and you can really see how you can accrue abundance. So if you own any land and you're not just a renter, start going nuts. Throw the seeds everywhere. You're just going to get food from it. Oh no. And I really would recommend, you know, soaking your seeds, because, you know, when you plant your seeds, sometimes you can't really, you know, not all of us are shamans and can predict the weather, and so, you know, you might get a 2-week dry patch, and that's not good for any seedling really. So, you know, you'll have to water more at the start. Now, do water in this sort of way, in a descending exponential sort of watering trend. So you start with plenty of watering, or a high quantity at the top of the trend, and, you know, you might start when your seedling's just breaking the soil every day or every second day. You know, I would say, you know, every day for the first week, and then the second week every second day, and then the third week every third day, and, you know, you might do that for a little while, and then you would switch to maybe just once a week watering once the plants are bigger. You know, obviously you're going to have to judge in your conditions what's suitable for you. But yeah, so that's what a horticulturist sort of told me one time that I asked, and so she said, you know, water in that sort of fashion, and yeah, I pretty much agree. And I do find that once you sort of get the plants going, like some of those plants down there, I don't have to water anymore. Like that pineapple, the pineapple sage and the kale there, you can see the pineapple sage red flowers just there, and then the kale behind it. Well, you know, they're both sweet to go. I don't really need to water them. I don't have to water that whole section actually, because those perpetual spinaches to the right there, they're also growing really boldly, and, you know, dark green leaves. So do look out for your seedlings' leaf colour, because if it's not a dark green, that means it might be struggling. And, you know, do not pick your seedlings' first few leaf sets. Let them have those leaves to create their chemicals and photosynthesize and eat their own food and make their own food. Because remember, plants make food by photosynthesis and, you know, the sun. So let them have their first few leaf sets, I always say. Do not pick them. And then by all means later, you know, go nuts. When they're grown up, you can pick heaps of leaves. So you just kind of want to usher them through like a bit of a baby at the start. And yeah, I'm going to go online and see if I can find some, you know, special cultivar do's and don'ts of seeding. And, you know, there's things like spacing to consider. But, you know, like I said, I just throw seeds out, and then I separate them as they grow. And it's one method, and it can be a little bit crude, but, you know, it can save you some bother sometimes, you know, because some will just die off, and then you've, you know, made the spacing pedantically for no reason, and you know, you could put seeds back in that hole that didn't make it and whatever, but you get all pedantic and finicky. So I just sort of just throw them around, like especially things like pumpkin. It also depends what you're planting, obviously. I don't throw all seeds around like a wild maniac jungle man. Just some seeds. So I'm going to go online and see if I can't find some do's and don'ts of seeding and some cultivar advice. Just one other thing to note is, you know, check your last frost date, and you want to plant pretty much just after that, because, well, anyway, I notice here that there's always like a bit of rain after that frost date. There'll be like a month where, you know, in August here you get quite a lot of rain usually, or you get at least a reasonable amount to start some seedlings. Yet now it's September, and, you know, we're well within spring, so I'm pretty much a month late. I could have started putting seedlings around about a month ago, and that's probably what I should have. So we're just here in my kitchen, and I've thrown all of those seeds out of the packets you sent me, Sam, just into some water. and I'm just going to let them soak there, and I'm going to put them in, I don't know, 2 or 3 different holes tomorrow and cover them with really quality soil. I'm actually going to go buy some soil, and I recommend you do this for starting plants up, because I've noticed the difference. They start up really quickly. Now I'm going to put some in, I don't know, 2 or 3 pre-dug holes. Then I'm just going to put like an inch or so, an inch or 2 of good soil, fluffy soil over them. And then I'm going to put some in there, because these are going to act as water retention devices and slowly break down anyway. And plus it'll allow for me to separate the plants easier, because their roots won't be able to dig so deep. So then I can wait for stuff to grow, you know, even that high, and then their roots will be, you know, not down so deep that I yank them out and cut the root and then kill the little plant. So it's a good idea to do something like that, because you see they've got individual slots. Their roots will, you know, sort of stay in there a little bit, and it's a water retention device too, so it'll soak up some water. Now as well,
so with the pumpkin seeds, I just made a patch, and there's so many pumpkin seeds, I just put like 5 rows in that patch of dirt there, and then, you know, just made a couple of rows with that stick there, about 2 inches deep, and then I just, you know, poured some of these pumpkin seeds in there. So I've just done it really rough because there's so many pumpkin seeds. Okay, so you can see what I've done here. There's a bit of a hole, another bit of a hole, and that's where I'm going to put most of the bigger seeds in. But I will also throw a few bigger seeds over here. I've flattened it out and taken away some of the bigger rocks. And I'm going to dump this really just premium potting mix. That was all I could afford, and you know, I'll end up throwing better soil on it after as well. But the point is just to not be doing it just in this dirt. It'll, you know, even this potting mix will help. And then I'm just going to put the seeds here. I'm going to throw a bit of dirt out. Then I'm going to put the seeds in and throw a bit of dirt over the top, about 1 inch or 2 over the top. Okay, so as I said earlier, we're going to come onto the internet and have a look through some seedling do's and don'ts. I just got 4 articles up here. So the first one here is a blog spot. So here we go. Worst herbs from seed. Don't plant French tarragon and specific mint cultivars from seed. According to Nancy Booble, author of the New Seed Starts Handbook, Rodala Press, 1988, French tarragon doesn't provide viable seeds, and specific mint cultivars hybridize readily and more often than not fail to come true to the seeds listed in catalogues. So they're not true to seed often. Parsley. Parsley seed is best started indoors and then planted in the herb garden. Although it is very slow to germinate, don't give up, don't be discouraged. So it's best planted indoors to begin with, they're saying. There's a do and a don't. Here we go, some more growing tips. Do plant in seed starting mix, not natural soil, before your seeds sprout. Do provide seeds with the warmth they need by setting them on a warm furnace or a store-bought heat mat. Well, I don't know if you need to always go that far, but yeah, it can be a good idea to keep plants and their seeds when you're, you know, sprouting a seed. Keep them, you know, comfortable, because plants do feel physical forces, like I've shown you in 2 other videos, my plant intelligence video, Brett McIntosh video, also the Why Plant Plants with Crystal video for Peggy Sue. So you do want to keep your plants comfortable because they're sentient beings, meaning, you know, just like your body is sense-stored electrical waves, their body is sense-stored electrical waves. And they communicate through clicks. They have hearing, taste, smell, and touch. So there's another do, you know, keep them warm and comfortable. Just think about, you know, the frost dates, the last frost date. Is it still frosty though? Just, you know, don't just go off what you read off the internet. You know, this is why in this domain we've really got to experience in our local microclimate how specific things grow and what specific environmental conditions they need to keep warm and, I don't know, whatever, safe and all that. Here's another one. Don't just place seeds next to a window. Place seedlings on a table directly underneath a shop light. These lights are usually enough to provide sturdy, stocky seedling growth. Yeah, that can be a good idea because sometimes the window can burn your seeds like a magnifying glass on an ant. But, you know, just figure it out. See what distance away from the window works and, you know. Don't use fancy grow lights. They are designed to help plants flower indoors, not sprout seedlings. Instead, use a cool white fluorescent tube light to give your seedlings an approximation of the sun they need, which is a lot. Find them at any hardware store, so not expensive grow lights that make plants flower. Do keep seedlings close to the light. They should be almost touching the tubes. Adjust the distance between your herbs and the light. When seeds have to stretch for light, they become leggy and susceptible to garden damage. Yeah, that's another thing to note whether you're growing indoors or outdoors. That, you know, if you plant in a shady spot, you'll notice your plant needs to reach up more and it gets sort of, as they say, leggy. It gets, you know, thin and tall and rigid in a bad way. You know, not the good type of rigid where they're sturdy. Type of rigid that is like brittle, that you can snap the stem easier and all that sort of thing. So also they say here, do keep seed lights at least 16 hours a day. So keep your lights on for 16 hours, they're saying. So anyway, this isn't, you know, a complete you have to do or do not. They're just guidelines, and we're not always growing inside. Do cover up unsprouted seedling trays with clear plastic to regulate moisture levels. Yeah, that could be an okay idea in the first few days. Yeah, nurturing herbs from seeds offers many benefits to the herb gardener. You get a head start in the garden and in the season. You can minimize the chance of introducing soil-borne diseases to your garden. You can save money. You may even have fun along the way and experience, and you'll be learning about it. So yeah, I do recommend keeping a close eye on your seedlings. Let's go to this next article, see if it can offer us anything. Most common mistakes. Overbuying. Even the veterans are guilty of this. It's like going to the grocery store on an empty stomach. Yeah. When it comes to gardening, even the most discipled can find themselves impulsive. Yeah, so just don't overbuy, because you might not be able to take care of them. Just think about, like, when you go to buy a dog or a cat, can you take care of them? Can you take care of this animal? Well, same with your plant. Otherwise we're just going to have a whole lot of wasted plants, and I don't know, it's not good for you either. Waste your time and money and etc. And yeah, you know, buying without regard to appropriate conditions. Do some research before you go out and just buy a whole bunch of plants. You know, think about, you know, will the tomatoes grow good here? Is it too cold? Or you know, will the dill grow here? Will this or that plant grow in my conditions? So yeah, to the appropriate zone or conditions. It's a very avoidable mistake, like they're saying. What you should do: plan ahead. Yep. Find reliable catalogue companies. Consider making your first order small. And I agree. I always tell people, just build up your garden slowly, and you think about it as you go. You can start from just pot plants and then dig somewhere in your garden. You can start out as small as you want with one plant. Investigate shipping and handling costs. Call before you buy if you're unsure. So yeah, there's a few more tips from this next article. Let's see. Do plant in seed starting mix. Don't just plant seeds next to a window. Looks like the same one as we saw in the other article, exactly the same. Do's and don'ts. Someone's been copywriting. You notice that Blogspot have the exact same do's and don'ts as that last article we viewed. Because I was tired and distracted, however, I made two critical mistakes. First, I didn't choose a sterile fine potting mix, opting instead for what had been sitting in an open bag in the basement. Yeah, that cannot be a good idea. Second, I didn't properly wash my recycled cell-packed containers. This lazy behaviour, coupled with too much moisture under the plastic dome, led to the sprouting of white fungus on the surface of the soil, which is not good, and we want drainage. Yeah, it can be helpful to use paddle pop sticks or something else to mark your greens and your different plants, your different vegetables, so you get to know them off by heart eventually. But it can be very helpful at the start while you're seeding, because it's hard to identify some seedlings. They change completely when they go into their mature tree, for instance. So that can be a very good idea. Yeah, look, think about fungus. That could be another tip I could offer up. Save nursery cell packs and yogurt containers. Use a fine sterile potting mix. If the seed packet calls for planting the seeds at any depth rather than surface sowing, I like to use a chopstick for making indentations in the soil. You shouldn't really go more than 2 inches deep though. Label the containers as you go. Use a seedling heat mat. Yeah, that can be useful. As soon as your seeds sprout, provide them with strong overhead light. Don't water from the top. Yeah, that's right. Some seeds are very susceptible to damage when they're so young and malleable and weak. Their stems haven't hardened yet, so when you water seedlings, you should water just the soil around them, not over the top of the plant, because you might crack the stem and goodbye plant. So yeah. And one last tip: if you use a plastic dome, ventilate it properly to make sure things don't get too humid in there. Alright, so there's a few more tips, and I hope that you have learnt something from that.